Hey guys, and welcome back to Amber Quartz, and this is the Tomo route part 2 and overall part 17 of Amber Quartz. I gotta stop doing these recordings like very late at night. I don't know, it's just like, when it comes to a route, I would prefer to play a route, especially with Amber Quartz, since it's like not a non-age scene related VN. So this route, I forgot to mention that this will have plenty of age scenes probably, and I don't know how I'm going to handle those age scenes. I might just cut them out entirely, or very heavily just like pixelate them because of YouTube. But I heard and seen people actually like getting away with visual novels that are 8 scene related, and they actually show the 8 scenes. And I don't know, sometimes YouTube is weird like that, so I don't think it's going to be anything that is like full on kink fest, but it's definitely not going to be like YouTube friendly as well. So we left this off here where we came back to the factory. Phew, I'm running a bit behind schedule, huh?
そうですね。早く中に入りましょう。
Naruto and I had come to an abandoned factory. Come to the abandoned factory, not earn. This place was our secret base from 7 years ago, and now it had become the makeshift headquarters for the anti-alien task force. I feel like Deadpool.
あ、やっと来た。遅いわよ、二人とも。
Shut the fuck up. Sorry it took me a bit longer to leave school than I thought. Also, shut the fuck.
あら、何かあったの？目の細い人に絡まれてました。
I mean, yeah.
具体的なのかそうでないのかさっぱりわからん。
As we entered, Selena, Miko, Nichan, and Kyo were already there. With me and Nayuta added to the group, that makes 5 of us, which means the only one left is... where's Tomo?
もうとっくに来てるぞ。
うん。
Tomo popping out from behind everyone. I guess she really did get here first after all. By the way, I wanted to mention that even if... I think I mentioned this lots of times already, but even if she wouldn't be a locked route, I would still pick her as first, because Kuder is supremacy. Which means Nayuta and I were the last ones, so that makes all 6 of us gathered now. So, what's the plan for today?
そうね。6人が揃ったことだし、改めて今後の方針を確認しておこうと思って。
With that, we decided to hold a brief meeting to get started. We all spread out around the mat in the corner of the abandoned factory, each finding our own spot, as Miko takes on a chairman-like role and begins to lead the discussion.
前にも言った通り、私たちの目的はただ一つ。この町に潜む偉人をすべて倒すこと。偉人はあらゆる姿に擬態して人を食らおうとする。その犯行を未然に防ぐのはなかなか難しいわ。ただし、偉人の行動にもある種の傾向が存在する。
A trend? What kind of trend?
それは彼らの人食いの欲求がほぼ夕方に集中していること。夕方？そういえばこの間私が襲われた時も3回とも夕方だったわ。
And when Nayuta and I were attacked, it was the same, wasn't it?
公演の時と学校の時ですよね。公演の時のことは私覚えてないんですけど。
So it's not daytime, nor is it night, but that brief in-between time that's the dead zone.
でもなぜ夕方なのか、その理由はまだ分かってない。それに奴らが夕方以外に活動しないわけじゃない。
Because they get their power from the sunset, yet another relation to Ember, and another relation to the title drop, Amber Quartz.
ただ、夕方が最も危険な時間というのは確か。
だから私たちもそれに合わせて警戒すべき。
Will each route would like include a Ishin? What do you mean by adjust our guard? What exactly are we supposed to do?
基本的には街の巡回ね。もし偉人が何らかの異能を使えば、私の感知能力に引っかかるわ。
I keep seeing, Ishins being referred to like 500 different things.
ただし、感知の有効距離は半径500メートルが限界で、索敵範囲をこの町一帯に絞ってもカバーしきれないの。
そこで基本は夕方、ミコ姉ちゃんを中心にみんなでぐるっと見回りをする。
Can't you just like, I don't know, run around the city? I mean, to be honest, she said something like, you can't detect the Ishins unless they use powers, which is like pretty useless, to be honest.
ミコ姉ちゃんの感知能力に反応があるか、または目視で偉人や何らかの異変を発見したら、全員に連絡してその場に急行する。
Bro, I don't know why I have to keep ordering these. But is it really just limited to the evening hours? I'm sure Ishins can attack people during the day or night. Or at night too, right?
もちろんその可能性もなくはない。でも24時間フルで索敵を行うのはさすがに無理。
だから、偉人が最も人を襲いやすい夕方に絞って巡回するのが現実的というわけ。
It's true. We have got school and our daily lives to attend to, so we can't just drop everything for this. I mean, also, like, I don't know, what if they, like, sense this and then change their tactics? Maybe leave a leg room for that, too. Besides, looking back at past cases, it's clear that Ishins tend to be active in the evening hours, so it's unlikely that pattern would be wrong.
でも、なんで偉人さんは夕方に人を襲うことが多いんですかね？
Yeah, I've been wondering about that too. I mean, Tomo said earlier that the reason is still unknown, but I wonder if there's some kind of significance to the evening hours specifically. Not daytime, not nighttime, but something specific about the evening hours themselves. Hey, now that I think about it, where did we originally get all this information about the Ishins from? It's not like Miko Nisan or Tomo could have researched and figured out all of their habits from scratch, right? And wasn't it said that the name Ishin itself has been used to refer to them since ancient times or something?
それはね、私の家の神社に偉人についての文献が伝わっていたからよ。
With that, Miko Nisan began to speak. She started telling an old strange tale about the Ishin.
偉人と呼ばれる存在はずっと昔からいたらしいわ。彼らはあらゆる姿に擬態するその能力から、日本では妖怪や魑魅魍魎の類として認識され、世界各地でも怪物や魔物扱いされてきた。
It feels like the scale of things has suddenly become incredibly grand. If the Ishin are the catalyst for myths and legends from around the world, then the name that bears the title of God is certainly not just for show.
そして私の家の神社にはその偉人に関する伝承が残っていたの。ちなみに私が使ってる七支刀も対偉人用の武器として奉納されていたものなのよ。
I thought that it was like a different name for Nayuta, but no. Oh, you mean that one? I remember you saying it's really effective against the Ishin.
あの刀はね、偉人に突き刺すと相手の擬態を解除する効果があるの。
Dispels their disguise? That's insane!
そうね。普通の人間にとってはろくに切ることもできないただの刀剣だけど、偉人にとっては天敵とも言える存在でしょうね。
Now that I think about it, you say this a lot of times. When we first encountered the Ishin, the one that disguised itself as Nayuta was stabbed with that sword by Miko-chan. Does Nayuta remember that? Or did you just like casually lore drop her right now? And then the opponent's disguise was dispelled and it turned out that it wasn't the real Nayuta, but the monster that had disguised itself as Nayuta. Or you not saying this but thinking it, I don't know.
7年前に琴ちゃんがいなくなった後、私は家の神社に残された伝承や文献があの化け物のことを指してるって気づいたの。
So she disappeared and not die?
それからはその伝承や文献を徹底的に調べて、琴ちゃんや私たちを狙ったあの化け物が偉人と呼ばれる存在であると知った。
And it turns out that information about her special abilities was also passed down through the shrine's traditions. It seems that just like the Ishin have existed since ancient times, there have also been humans with the same abilities as the Ishin since ancient times. Ancient. And they were known as Akito, and just like the Ishin, they were shunned and feared. What is this? Fucking. There's also a theory that the people who were once called Tengu or Oni were actually the remnants of the Akito who were cast out of society. Tengu, by the way, is like reminded me of an a very old game that we called as Blackham, and I googled that for years and years and only just recently found out that it wasn't Blackham at all. But yeah.
あら、ごめんなさい。ちょっと脱線しちゃったわね。話を戻して、さっきなゆたちゃんが言ってた偉人が夕方に活発になる理由なんだけど、私が調べた限りではその理由は分かっていないの。
But the time around dusk is known as the Hour of the Devil, and it's been feared since ancient times. Isn't that 3 a.m.? I thought that was like, or that's like the Hour of the Dead. Every hour is like some kind of like hour of something that kills you. Like, I just woke up today. Welcome, this is the hour of the Grim Reaper. Time for a coffee. This is the hour of heart attack. Like, humans are so pessimistic. The hour of the devil is called that because it's a time when you are more likely to encounter Ma, or supernatural phenomena. What is Ma? And it's possible that the Ishin were the cause of those supernatural phenomena.
この辺は推測でしかないけど、偉人が夕方に活発になるっていうのはずっと昔からの習性みたいね。
I see. Just hearing that makes me think that the evening patrol is pretty crucial. Considering our daily routines, it's likely that we will be able to focus on being on guard against the Ishin during that time.
それ以外で大事なのは、奇妙な事件が起こってないか情報を集めること。
奇妙な事件ってどんなのよ。
If the Ishin attacks someone, it will always cause a stir as an unexplained incident. In other words, that's what we mean by strange incidents. I'm just parroting what Tomo told me earlier though. In this case, since there's already been damage, we are playing catch up, but I think it's still important in terms of preventing further harm. You could say that the evening patrol is like a preventative measure against catching a cold, and gathering information on incidents and solving them is like the treatment for when you are already caught one. To minimize the damage caused by the Ishin, both of those things are crucial. No translation is needed, as there is. I mean, yeah.
さて、そろそろ日が暮れそうな時間になってきたな。
As he gazes up at the sky through the abandoned factory's window, Kyo mutters to himself. Even as they held their meeting, the problematic twilight hour was drawing near. Alright, let's get moving then. Everyone, let's head out on patrol around town.
待って、その前に班を決めましょう。
I'm going with Tomo because I'm on the Tomo route. This was already established, bitch.
班？みんな全員で一緒に行くんじゃないんですか？
I hope Nayuta isn't going to become a jealous Chisato like Tsundere because I'm fucking everyone before her. That's just what true girls get, to be honest.
さすがにそれは非効率的でしょ？ 手分けしないと夕方の間に街全体を回りきれないし。
By the way, now that I think about it, the routes are incorporated into the common route, so that means that it's actually canon this time that you fuck everyone before the main girl. That's just like, you know, when people say that, like, if you would be the last person on Earth, maybe then I would fuck you, and this VN is just like makes it like, and turns it up to an 11. The disrespect on Nayuta. Why can't you just, like, you know, usually how VNs go are like, you play a route and then load a save, and then, you know, pick another girl and then load a save. So that way is like, it makes you feel like that, you know, the MC choose this time around, or in a what if scenario they choose the like the main girl this time. But in this case, we are choosing everyone without loading it back. So that means that we are not just fucking with Nayuta, or we're not just breaking Nayuta's heart with this, but everyone else's heart. So I lay with Tomo in the Tomo route. Then next is Hime. I lay with her. Tomo is like left there. She's just like a one night stand. Hime is also a one night stand. Mikone is also a one night stand. Like, I'm going through my friends like they are tissues. And it's canon. Oh my fucking god. I mean, the route guide says that I should load, but, you know, it seems that I'm not going to loading saves, but different kind of girls, if you know what I mean.
そう。だけど単独行動は危険だから、最低でも二人一組で行動するのがいいと思う。
Pairs, huh? We got 6 people in total, so we can form 3 teams. I mean, if Kyo gets Nayuta, then that's also fucking up with me.
じゃあ今日のところは私がチーム編成を決めてもいいかしら。
We are not in an agreement to Mikoni-chan's proposal. After all, she's essentially the leader of this group.
今後は各人の能力とバランスを考えてローテーションを組むことになると思うけど。
As she said that, Mikoni-chan hesitated for a moment, seemingly unsure of how to proceed. Oh, that's right, Tomo does not have a ability. Neither Nayuta. So meaning, I have to go with either Nayuta or Tomo.
それじゃ一組目は京とサリナ。
That's the worst pair you could have think of, but okay. I thought you were going to say Mikone and me, Kyo. And Salina is like Nayuta. That would have been cool, no?
二組目はなゆたちゃんとトモ。
You fucking betrayal, bitch. Wait. I like, objection. Not Ace Ventura, what is like Ace Attorney. Objection. Nayuta and Tomo does not have any power. So that would mean that they couldn't protect each other, nor themselves. That means at least someone with superpowers should follow Tomo or Nayuta.
トモ先輩とですか。よろしくお願いします。
で、残った3組目が私とスバルくんね。
Shut the fuck up. I'm on the Tomo route. Yeah, I got it. I noted that Mikoni-chan's words, but I couldn't help but wonder what criteria she had used to come up with these pairings.
なんでよりによってあんたとなのよ。もう最悪。
文句言うな。ローテーションになるならどうせいつかは当たるんだから。
I mean, this isn't exactly a good, like, formation, I feel.
それでも一発目からってことはないでしょ。いきなり嫌いなものから食べさせられる気分よ。
It just doesn't make sense.
俺は人参か何かか。
Salina and Kyo seem to be at odds with each other for some reason. It seems that these two have never really seen eye to eye, and that hasn't changed even now. Probably this was the reason. But considering Kyo's personality has matured quite a bit, they probably won't be getting into fights all that often. And it looks like the other pair is over there.
トモ先輩、頑張りましょうね。私も精一杯頑張ります。
頑張る。
え おー
えい、えい、おー。
I love Kudere so much. I'm going to say this, I think, 10 gazillion times before the VN ends, but just Kudere supremacy is like so good.
悪側山
Yeah, you can make a Kudere repeat everything. The Tomo and Nayuta team seems to be in a pretty weird mood. Now I don't want to separate them. I'm a bit worried that Tomo won't be able to keep up with Nayuta's pace though. Mikuni-chan, is this really going to be okay?
大丈夫よ。それよりよろしくね、ツバルくん。
Nice to meet you too. What the fuck? Have we already met? And then Mikoni-chan gives this mysterious smile, leaving me bewildered and unsure of what she's getting at. I don't know, by the way, how I'm not stumbling, like, while reading. Because, like, it's fucking 3 a.m. The hour of the dead. And I'm playing a visual novel that mentioning the hour of the dead. Anyway, our patrol in groups of 3 has begun like this. Ding-a-ling.
楽ちん楽ちん。
Whose bike is this? Behind me, literally right behind me, Mikoni-chan whispers to herself. The arm wrapped around my waist, the soft sensation against my back, and the long hair that flows and sways in the wind. And I was pedaling the bicycle with all my might, with Mikoni-chan riding on the back. Kazasawa City is mostly flat with hardly any hills, but even so, pedaling was still quite a workout.
ねえねえ、スバルくん。もっと早く漕いでよ。
Don't be ridiculous. I'm already exhausted, and it's not safe for Mikoni-chan either.
ブー、スバルくんのケチ。
Is this like... I thought this is the Tomo route. What's with this cute Mikoni-chan? Is she suddenly regressing to a toddler or something? This scene might look idyllic and youthful to an outsider, but the truth is we are actually in the middle of a renaissance mission. Or reconnaissance mission, I don't know. Mikoni-chan's sensing ability has an effective range of ability 500 meters in radius, and I want to make sure we have checked the entire town at least once within that search area. You could have used the bike all this time? Since it's impossible to cover the distance on foot before nightfall, that's why we are cycling around the town to make a full sweep. To be honest, the patrols by the other teams, which rely solely on visual surveillance, are little more than a comfort considering their limitations. That's why no matter how peaceful the scene may seem, even a situation like riding a bike with a girl, which would normally be a bit thrilling, this is a perfectly legitimate reconnaissance mission. It's absolutely not some sappy romantic activity. I was making excuses to myself, though I'm not even sure who I was trying to convince. To the reader, to break the fourth wall, you fuck. Honestly, this is just doesn't have... This is... see? I spoke too soon, I already stumbling. Honestly, this just doesn't have the right tension to it, you know? I know. It's starting to get a bit too enjoyable, and I'm in danger of forgetting our original purpose.
風が気持ちいい。自分で漕がなくていいって最高。
Hey, Mikoni-san, if we are going to patrol the town, wouldn't a motorcycle or something be better than a bike? I mean, sure, if you can buy one, bitch.
それはダメよ。風情がないもの。
Actually, no, because, like, people with muscles drive them and muscles are hot, no? Is this really about the romance of it?
今のは冗談。でも、バイクより自転車の方がいいのは本当よ。
Why is that?
バイクだと通れない道だってあるし、早すぎて感知を見逃しちゃう可能性もあるわ。それに、偉人を見つける前に事故を起こしたら元も子もないでしょ。
I suppose you're right. I suppose she's right. We're probably more likely to get into a motorcycle accident than be attacked by an Ikigami who's supposed to be Ishin, who's supposed to be alien god, who's supposed to be other god, who's supposed to be everything else but not Ikigami, who the VN never once mentioned.
それにそもそもバイクの免許を持ってる人がいないもの。
This, by the way, I'm using a Llama 7. Yeah, 70B. So I thought that it's going to be better, but you know what? No matter what LLM I use, it's always going to be like a 90%, I guess. Besides, neither of us even has a motorcycle license to begin with. Oh, she said that, sorry. Yeah, I don't have one either. You could probably get a scooter license pretty easily, but riding double would just get us caught by the cops. I guess bikes are just the most convenient options after all. By the way, if you get caught by the cops, would the neurowire thing, could get you out, no? I guess bikes are just the most convenient option after all, but it's kinda hard to see myself as a heroic rider on a bicycle, you know? By the way, when we are paired up with someone other than Kyo, what's the plan? Are we going to have Nayuta and the others ride bikes too?
そんなわけないでしょ。その時は自転車を2台用意しますから。
Two girls riding their bikes side by side. The image is so amusing that I couldn't help but feel a laugh welling up inside me. No matter how you look at it, it just looks like a group of female students who are good friends riding their bikes home from school. No one would ever guess that we are actually on the hunt for an unidentified monster. But does that mean I can only ride with a guy? I thought to myself, she's really crafty, but I figured she'd get mad if I said it out loud, so I decided to keep quiet. Instead, I say something else. Wow, the main character thoughts for once instead of speaking. Hey, Miko, why did you choose this lineup today?
どうして？私とじゃ嫌だった？
That isn't right. I just didn't think Miko and Eve would put us together like this for no reason. If you simply consider the balance of each player's abilities, today's lineup is clearly wrong. No, I think it's because, no one in the party gets along. Like, Tomo and Nayuta never really get a chance to meet. And Hime and Kyo always fighting, guess they won't after this. And Miko and Subaru is good, but we're on good terms. But the rest needed their pairings, so I guess this is the reason. Especially the combination of Nayuta and Tomo. Out of the 6, the only ones who can't use their special abilities are Tomo and Nayuta. So that, yeah, when you think about what might happen in an emergency, this combination should have been out of the question. And there's no way Miko hasn't noticed that, which means she must have some ulterior motive, right? So, what's the deal? What's the real story?
そうね。確かに今日の組み合わせは実用よりも各人のコミュニケーションを考慮したかも。
Yeah, see? I was right. Communication.
例えば、サリナと今日は昔からよくぶつかってたけど、あの子たちの能力のことを考えると、二人の連携はこれからの戦いで必要になると思うの。
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm so smart. By the way, who the fuck is Yako?
そのためにも、二人はお互いに慣れておいた方がいいわ。それに、あの子たちは喧嘩するほど仲がいいタイプだし。
Kyo and Salina. You're right, those two really are like oil and water. Still, Kyo's close quarters combat skill and ability to harden his entire body combined with Salina's explosive powers made them invaluable assets. Their strength will definitely be essential in future battles, so I guess that's why they need to be able to communicate with each other.
そして、トモとナユタちゃんは、私たち以外の人に心を開かないトモに、ナユタちゃんの存在がいい刺激になってくれればって。
Okay, I was kinda right. See, come to think of it, shut the fuck up. It seems like Nayuta folks were Nayuta folks? It seems like Nayuta were concerned about Tomo too.
それにナユタちゃんって、なんとなくあの子に似てるから。
I told you. That girl of that girl. That?
そう。スバルくん、それを分かってて、あの子と付き合ってたんじゃないの？
Please reveal it. I just hate it that you just gatekeep this information because it's so fucking obvious, please. Don't be like, we already here. We might continue this conversation in like 6 parts from now on. No, that's not it. I only just recently remembered my memories of Koto, and besides, we are not dating. So, that girl was actually spelled out as Koto, but I didn't know because the Japanese translation was shit. Even as I replied with something like that, I kept mulling over Mikone's words over and over and over in my mind. Yeah, it's true that Naruto does kind of look similar. I didn't realize it myself until I recently thought back to 7 years ago, but there was something about Naruto that reminded me of Koto. Everything. Except the way she talks. Come to think of it, when Naruto suddenly confessed to me 6 months ago, it felt strangely familiar. Koto also confessed to you? That's kind of jail. If that's true. Maybe it was because I was unconsciously thinking about it.
それと、最後にもう一つ。
Huh? What?
私が久しぶりにスバルくんとゆっくり話したかったから、かな。
Okay. Mikone. I have no idea what kind of expression Mikone has on her face right now. To be honest though, I didn't think I could look Mikone in the face, so in a lot of ways I felt relieved. Even as I grappled with the weight of those 7 years apart, I was grateful to Mikone for treating me just as she had 7 years ago. In the end, there was no sign of the alien god that day, and the other teams didn't detect anything unusual either. But to me, it felt like I made a small, yet significant gain. I'm already at home? Oh, I did it! I did it! Ouch, that's hot! That was probably the worst way to vocalize that, but okay. Night. With the town patrol complete, today's operations at the provisional headquarters for countering this strange god have come to an end. After saying goodbye to everyone, I went home and heated up the meal my mom had made for me, then ate dinner alone. My mom works the night shift, so she doesn't come home at night, but every now and then she will make dinner in advance like this. My mom, who's currently raising me all on her own. From 7 years ago until today, I had my ups and downs, but I've always been grateful to my mom. Maybe I turn on the TV. By picking at my dinner, I turned it on with the remote.
県祭沢市で男子学生が自宅で死亡しているのが発見された事件ですが。
What a timing. Huh? The name of the town where I live pops up in a news report on TV. I stopped moving my chopsticks and listened intently to the news report.
この男子学生は不登校で長期間学校を休んでおり、警察では自殺の可能性もあるとして捜査を進めていくとのことです。
Is this what Dan Yuji was talking about earlier today? As I watched TV, I recalled the conversation we had during the lunch break. There are reports that a boy from Class 1C has died. He had been skipping school. There are rumors of suicide and rumors that he was being bullied in class. In terms of the signs, a lot of it fits. The timing is also right, so it's probably not a mistake. Oh, I see. So that was big enough to make the news. Well, it's still a crime, but so far I don't sense any signs of a foreign god. There are far more incidents caused by humans than by supernatural beings. So when it comes to cases where there's nothing particularly suspicious, I can't really keep a close eye on every little detail. But I'm a little worried about that. Since it was an incident that happened right in my neighborhood, I had a vague sense of foreboding. It all started with something very trivial. There were some roughnecks in my class. They were a group of delinquents who tried to act though but didn't quite pull it off. They would occasionally pick on the timid-looking kids in class just for fun. Every time I saw something like that, a sense of unease welled up inside me. One day, a boy became their target. I hadn't been a victim myself, and I wasn't particularly close with that guy, but I couldn't take it anymore, so I instinctively jumped to his defense. Damn, first thing I heard of being a hero. Since then, that boy hasn't been teased anymore. Actually, none of his other classmates were targeted by the delinquent gang either, because their target is now sorely me. Several days have passed since I began patrolling the town in the evenings. I've been patrolling the town every evening since then, but so far I haven't detected any signs of the alien deity. It didn't seem like anything particularly major had happened in town either.
先輩、今日も元気でお昼がうまいのお時間がやってまいりました。
この番組はなゆちゃんの提供でお送りいたします。
What on earth are you talking about? By the way, will Tomo join us today? Or, like, that walk did not end up good. I'm not quite sure why, but they are needlessly hyped as usual, and Nayuta and Tenyuji show up. Lunchtime, a blissful time for students, exhausted after getting through the morning classes to recharge their batteries. I don't know why you have to keep repeating everything that happens 100 times just to fill up that word count in the VN script. But those two juniors don't look exhausted at all, or are they the type who perk up as soon as break time rolls around?
トモ先輩、発見。
So now they are friends now? Does not look like it. Naita raised her voice and pointed, so I instinctively turned to look in that direction. There stood Tomo, just about to leave the classroom. Not only me, but everyone in the classroom was staring at Tomo.
トモ先輩、お昼ご一緒にどうですか？あ、
That went good. Tomo pretended not to hear a thing and silently walked out of the classroom.
逃げた。今、明らかに逃げましたよね。
Yeah, she got away.
逃げましたね。
Yeah, she got away.
ああ、逃げた。
Oh, she got away. Amamiya casually joins in, and we all know the longest Nayuta seeks our approval. I couldn't help but feel sorry for Nayuta, who was frozen in place after Tomo ran off.
トモ先輩、どうして逃げちゃうんですか？
Nayuta looks pitiful as she speaks to the back that is now out of sight. It's kind of like when you love cats so much that they end up hating you, isn't it? But since I understood exactly how Tomo felt, I was in a bit of a quandary.
あんな露骨に避けられるなんてショックです。
Depressed eating. Well, I guess it can be helped. Tomo's always been a bit shy around new people. In the end, the usual group headed up to the roof for lunch. The conversation naturally turned to Tomo, who we just seen.
そういや昨日安藤と皆倉が幼なじみっていうのは聞いたけどさ、 なんでナユタちゃんはミナクラのことを構うわけ？ナユタちゃんにとってはライバル候補なんじゃないの？
Amamiya, you always have to go and say unnecessary things. This was something I didn't want anyone to make fun of, for two reasons. I've already told you that Tomo and I are childhood friends, but it's a secret that Tomo, Nayuta, and I fight the Ichin after school. Besides, Tomo and I are just old childhood friends. We are close, but there's definitely nothing romantic going on between us yet. I just don't want people going around needlessly stirring up trouble with Nayuta.
私がトモ先輩のことを構う理由は、先輩がトモ先輩のことを気にしてるからですよ。
Me? I was taken aback by Nayuta's unexpected remark. Why me of all people? Wasn't Nayuta's interest actually in Tomo herself?
ああ、確かに最近の安藤は気づくとミナクラのことを目で追ってる感じだよな。
What are you talking about? I didn't do anything like that.
安藤先輩は皆倉先輩のことが好きなのですか？
As usual, Amamiya says something out of place, and then Yuji confronts him with a serious expression, asking him something outrageous. Seriously, these guys never say anything worthwhile. That's not it. Sure, Tomo and I used to be close, but that was back when we were kids.
そうですか。ちょっと安心しました。
Don't get your hopes up, I'm still on her route. Do you understand now?
でも気にしているのは確かですよね。
The pursuit showed no signs of letting up. But the truth is, I do care about Tomo. Ever since I started thinking back on what happened 7 years ago, Tomo might be the one I'm most worried about among my childhood friends. Tomo wasn't like that back then. He used to be shy and quiet, the kind of guy who never stood out. And before I knew it, I was telling everyone what I was thinking. Tomo, who is currently isolated in her class because she's seen as a child prodigy. I've always been shy, but 7 years ago I wasn't the type to give off such a cold, unapproachable vibe. She's never had any friends, but I get the feeling that Tomo is actively keeping her distance from people these days. It's kind of hard to see you standing out from the class with that attitude. I just wonder if there's anything we can do about it.
俺は今のミナクラしか知らないけど、話を聞く限りじゃ随分とキャラが変わったんだな。
Yeah, that's not looking good either. I really want to do something about it, but... Tomo, it might have been different back when we were estranged, but now she's a comrade fighting alongside me against the alien gods. Tomo's smarts have always been a huge help to me, and while this isn't exactly to repay her, if there's anything I can do... But I guess there's nothing we can do about the things that have changed. It's too late to go back to the way things were back then.
そんなことないです。
Don't yell out of the blue like that. But she's right though. As if to blow away my resigned mutter, Naito shouted loudly.
先輩にならきっとトモ先輩も心を開いてくれます。だから先輩、行ってきてください。
Where are we going?
もちろんトモ先輩のところですよ。私じゃ逃げられちゃったけど、先輩だったら。
You are rooting for me. Despite you're the true girl who's in love with me, just what kind of dare type are you? Well, I don't know what to say when you just spring that on me like that.
ほらほら、お弁当持って。残りはトモ先輩と一緒に食べてくださいね。
She's truly best girl. What? And we are starting right now?
一緒にお昼は仲良くなるための基本です。それを実践した私が言うんだから間違いないです。
By spouting such nonsense, Naruto shoved a half-eaten bento box into my hands and forcefully sent me on my way.
さあさあ、いってらっしゃい。トモ先輩のことしっかりお願いしますよ。
No, I mean, you can't just do that out of the blue.
今度は私たちとも一緒に食べてくれるよう、トモ先輩にお願いしておいてくださいね。
Whoa, don't push me. Hey, Naruto! And so, with Naruto pushing me from behind, I was kicked off the roof. I thought I fell down.
なゆちゃん、あれでよかったんですか？
No.
そうだよ。安藤が皆倉と仲良くなっても平気なのか？
Yeah, that's kind of weird. After seeing us, senior of Tama-chan and senior Amami came over to check on us, looking worried. There wasn't Naruto's side this time. To be honest, I had mixed feelings about it myself.
私は先輩のことが好き。だから先輩が悩んでいるのなら力になってあげたい。今回はその悩みがトモ先輩のことだったというだけ。
なゆちゃん。
もちろん乙女心としてはトモ先輩にジェラシーを感じたりしちゃうけどね。それでも先輩がトモ先輩のことを気にかけてるなら私はそんな先輩を応援してあげたいの。
I never seen a character like this, like who's have a deep crush on you but supports you. I mean, in a way I did with Koichiko Mifuyu, but that was entirely different. That was cringe, because she wrote a fanfic behind her back by saying and rooting for Chisato to be, of Oshima's. Besides, personally I was a little interested in Tomo-senpai. What? Yuri? I guess I just can't seem to ignore it. It feels like it's not just someone else's problem.
けなげだね、なゆたちゃん。何は節だよ。おっちゃん感動した。
なゆちゃん、あなたって子は愛しすぎてもう鼻血が出そうですわ。
Even as Tomo-chan and Senpai, or Amami-senpai cheer me on, I'm rooting for Senpai in my heart. Good luck, Senpai. I'm sure Tomo-senpai needs you too. This is a real pickle. What am I going to do? I was practically pushed back onto campus by Naruto, and to top it off, I was holding a half-eaten lunchbox. I guess I have no choice. Iksu. We started moving slowly, looking for a place to eat our lunches. So, it's here, after all. I ended up in front of the science prep room. Since I couldn't just brush off Naruto's feelings, I steeled myself and decided to go inside. Excuse me, Tomo, are you here?
スバルくん。
When I walked into the science prep room, Tomo was there, wearing a lab coat just like last time. So you were working here again today? All by yourself, but you're gonna color-mate for lunch. Hey, is it okay if we eat here? When I held up my lunchbox and as Tomo looked back and forth between me and the lunchbox stand,
どうぞ。
she muttered under her breath. After getting the room owner's permission, I found a spot to sit and finally got back to my lunch. Ignoring me, Tomo went about making something small, occasionally nibbling on a color-mate. What are you making there?
これはスバルくんの。
Mine? What's mine? Don't tell me she's making something that I think she's making. As I asked her while poking at my bento, Tomo walked over to me and quietly handed me something. Oh. Damn! Without really understanding what was going on, I received a pair of leather gloves from Tomo. It has a thimble style design and comes with thin metal knuckle guards. They are a little different from motorcycle gloves and feel more like the knuckle guards used in martial arts, but
それ、スバルくん専用の防護グローブ。
a protective robe just for me?
スバルくんの異能は主に手を使うから、その部分の保護は必須だと思って、指先から伸びる神経ワイヤーのことも考慮して指抜き型にしてある。
Oh, I see. So is this for me?
うん。今度から偉人と戦うときはそれを使って。
Oh, thanks. I take you up on that. Although I was a little taken aback, I was touched by Tomo's thoughtfulness. I heard you were making gear to fight the other gods, but I never imagined she'd go so far as to prepare some for me too. Just like Tomo said, this way I can keep both hands firmly protected, and it won't get in the way when I use the wire.
それと、まだ渡すものがある。
A kiss. Seriously? I feel kind of bad about all this.
うん。これもスバルくんに必要なものだと思うから。
Well, I wonder what kind of new gear it will be this time. I'm starting to get a little excited.
はい。じゃあこれ。
Why are you blushing? What is this? With that, Tomo handed me something. A string.
そう。紐。
A captman. A string, probably. It was just an ordinary piece of string tied into a loop. It's quite long enough to be a fairly large necklace. The cord appears to be made of yarn. It was thick and soft with a texture that felt comfortable in the hand. So, what am I supposed to do with this?
それであやとりの練習をして。
String figures? You mean those string figures?
そう。そのあやとり。
There's no such thing as that or this when it comes to cat's cradle. It's just that thing kids play with, isn't it? But why do I have to play cat's cradle? I tipped my head, completely baffled.
あやとりをすることで神経ワイヤーを操る練習になればと思って。
Practicing with nerve wires. Oh, right, so the string is supposed to stand in for the wires. At my words, Tomo nodded silently. Then why did you blush? By the way, Mikone has forbidden us from practicing our special abilities right now. Using one's special abilities consumes a significant amount of physical and mental energy. How do you know that? For example, if a foreign god were to appear right after you have been exhausted by the training, it could end up defeating the whole purpose.
でも異能をうまく扱うための訓練も必要だからミコ姉と相談して考えたの。異能を使わずに異能を操る訓練、イメージトレーニングをしてもらおうって。
So this cat's cradle is supposed to be a kind of mental training for my special ability then?
そう。スバルくんの異能の特徴は指先から伸びる神経ワイヤーを自在に操れること。
This give a very cool idea of like a bondage king scene. You know, it would make, much sense. And we would do training for the neuro. That's right, the defining feature of special abilities.
そのワイヤーをより複雑かつ精密に操れれば偉人との戦いを有利に進められるはずだから。
So that's what cat's cradle is, a form of mental imagery training for that purpose. I see, that makes sense. Visually it's a bit, well, but you can practice Cat's Cradle anytime, anywhere, so... Got it. I hardly ever played Cat's Cradle, but I try to practice when I have some free time.
頑張って。
Thanks, Tomo. You are really gone out of your way for me. Come to think of it, fuck you for saying this fucking line. Whenever we were in a bind back in the day, it was always Tomo who came up with the best ideas, wasn't it?
別にそんなこと。
I need to go to the toilet. Even back then, Tomo was already showing glimpses of genius. You really are amazing. Tomo, is something wrong? Tomo suddenly seems restless and unable to sit still. Please don't be here. I wonder, did I say something weird? Hey, what's wrong? Are you feeling okay?
トイレ。
Huh? Before I could even process what was happening, Tomo bolted out to the science prep room. Out of. Left alone in the room, I was stunned at first, but then I remembered something. Come to think of— Fuck you! I hate this fucking word. Or line or sentence. Tomo used to have a habit of needing to go to the restroom whenever he got nervous. So I actually did have a few accidents back then, but I guess I still haven't kicked that habit. But where exactly was that tense moment in what just happened? I stood alone in the science prep room, scratching my head. She just don't like being praised. After that, Tomo didn't come back even after the lunch break bell rang, so I had no choice but to return to the classroom alone. And then I realized that I hadn't achieved my original goal at all, to get Tomo to open up to me. Because you're a fuck.
くそ、マジ最悪だぜ。
It was evening. As I walked down the deserted streets, I saw a boy cursing under his breath. This is the Ishin's personal view, by the way. I just noticed. Probably he was getting anxious. It had been a few days since Naoki Takayama died and the news broke. Maybe the police are about to show up at my place.
俺のせいじゃねえよ。あいつが勝手にくたぶったんだ。
Now this was probably one of the guys who bullied him. It's true that I took the lead in bullying Naoki Takayama. If Takayama committed suicide because he couldn't bear the bullying we subjected him to, would I be held criminally liable?
ああ、そんなわけねえ。大丈夫なはずだ。
I was told that since I'm a student and a minor, it's difficult to prove that bullying constitutes a crime under Japanese law. Was it really suicide to begin with? Maybe he just had a heart attack while he was holed up at home. What the fuck is this wasp?
何の音だ？
Just then, a strangely jarring noise came from somewhere. A noise that evoked a visceral sense of discomfort, like the swarming sound of flying insects.
もうすぐ冬だってのに、まだ虫かよ。
Growing increasingly irritated, he turned towards the sound. I don't think, by the way, this VN is going to go to winter, because that would mean that they have to change all the CGs to winter CGs. Phew, it gets pretty cold once the sun goes down. Another day is coming to an end. A fiery red glows through the cold, crisp air. Amid all that, we were out on our usual patrol.
冬になると日が落ちるのが早くなるからな。日没の時間はチェックしておくべきだろう。
You're right. You can look it up online these days, so I check it out next time. My partner on today's rounds was Kyo. Since there are more women in our department, it's rare to have a pair of two guys. The other teams consist of Miko and Nayuta group and Tomo and the Sanina group. Probably eventually I end up with Tomo. By the way, I only go on patrols by bike when I'm teamed up with Miko. Since no one except Miko had any sensory abilities and they had to rely solely on their eyes and ears, they generally patrolled on foot to ensure they didn't miss anything out of the ordinary. This was the longest sentence so far. Well, the other gods aren't exactly stupid, so I doubt they will cause much of a commotion.
いや、それはわからんぞ。あいつらは人間以上の知恵や知識はあるが、必ずしも合理的で理にかなった行動をとるとは限らない。お前のとこの学校に乗り込んできた偉人やサリナを襲った偉人がいい例だろう。
I see, you're right. Looking back, I guess I was more like someone with an abnormal obsession with the prey I was hunting. The cunning to disguise himself as my friend and infiltrate the school, and the impulsiveness to run wild on campus without a care in the world. Is that contradiction what defines the nature of the other gods? But if that's the case, it's going to be tough to predict their behavior.
だからこうして見回りをしているんだろ。地味だし根気のいる作業だが大事なことだ。
Walking beside me, Kyo nodded solemnly. Even though we are walking side by side like this, Kyo is so tall that he's looking down at me. 7 years ago, I was the bigger one, or rather Kyo was the short one, and even when it came to sports, I was usually the better one. Kyo, you have really changed, haven't you?
なんだ突然。
No, you have gotten way more muscular. You have really shot up in the last 7 years.
ああ、3年くらい前から急に伸び始めてな。毎日骨がミシミシいってる感じだった。
Joe speaks as if it were someone else's story, looking down at his own body. Then I noticed my girth. Not only his appearance, but Kyo seemed to have changed quite a bit on the inside as well. I remember that Kyo used to be much more cocky and quick to get annoyed, and he was always picking fights with me for no reason. Kyo looks tough and unapproachable right now, but he's more composed and easier to talk to than he was 7 years ago. Oh, I say this out.
そうか。自分じゃよくわからないが。でも確かに、昔の自分はあまり好きじゃないな。
When I told him my honest opinion, Kyo looked a little serious as he talked about his self-analysis.
口だけ達者でいつも虚勢を張って、でも実際は卑怯で非力なだけの自分が嫌で。
I love how, we get non-rude characters story too.
だからそんな自分を鍛え直すために、キックボクシングを始めたんだ。
Kickboxing. I see. Kyo really something, isn't he? After hearing what Kyo had to say, I was genuinely impressed. Compared to that, what on earth have I been doing for the past 7 years? Haven't I just been wasting my time, having forgotten most of what happened 7 years ago? I wonder what Miko, Sanina, and Tomo have been thinking about during these past 7 years. What on earth am I?
あのな、スバル。
As I sat there deep in thought, Kyo started to say something. Ah! Shut the fuck up. Fuck! No, this... Ah! I'm getting 1 HP damage. Just then my cell phone emitted a simple beep. Pick it up. Please, pick it up. I took my cell phone out of my pocket and checked the caller ID. It was Nayuta. Pick it up. Just pick it up. I'm pretty sure Mikone is teamed up with Nayuta today. Thank God. This was the worst sound effect in any game. I thought I'm going to die. It's probably what Koto felt in part 14 or I don't know what. Hello? Is this Nayuta?
もしもし先輩、みやこさんが偉人の反応をキャッチしました。
Oh, Really? Where is it?
宮子さんが言うには
Check the points where Naruto was a... Okay. Check the points where there was a reaction from Naruto. That place was quite a distance from here. Even if I started running now, I wasn't sure if I could make it there before sunset. Anyway, I decided to hang up and rush over there.
偉人か
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty far from here though.
急ぐぞ。お前なら全力で走ってもついてこられるよな。
I mean, I did that to Tomo and everyone else, so I better do that and man up. I do my best so I don't get left behind. At the very least, I had absolutely no intention of holding anyone back. And so, Q and I dashed off to the scene where the alert was received. As I ran, I looked up at the sky and saw a dusky sunset spreading out before me, as if twilight were about to engulf everything. I'm pretty sure it's around here somewhere. By the time I arrived at the place Naruto had told me about, it was already well past sunset. I've been running non-stop, so I'm completely out of breath. Maybe I should work out a little more.
おい、いたぞ。あそこに巫女姉と望月が。
Unlike me, Kyo wasn't even out of breath as he pointed down the road. And sure enough, there they were, Naruto and Mikone, standing by the bushes at the side of the road. Hey, Naruto! Mikone!
先輩
As I called out to them and walked over, Naruto also ran toward me.
先輩
Without hesitation, Naruto charged straight at me. Hey, Naruto, what are you doing all of a sudden? Naruto? No way. Seeing Naruto trembling in my arms, I sensed that something is seriously wrong. I put my arm around Naruta's shoulder to calm her down, then looked over at Miko, who was peering into the ticket. Miko, what on earth is going on?
一足遅かったみたい。それにしてもこれは
Mikone tilts her head, looking serious. I could tell there had been some kind of casualty, but even so, Naruto and Mikone's reactions were out of the ordinary. After calming down a visibly frightened Naruto, I headed over to Mikone.
こいつはひどいな。一体どうやったらこうなるんだ。
わからないわ。偉人の仕業だとは思うけど。
Kyo was already there, peering into the ticket with Miko. What the fuck is a ticket? Hey, what's over there?
見てみろ。
Following Kyo's lead, I stick my head deep into the ticket. Fuck you. Is that Amamiya? Or just he wears the same uniform? And there, lying on the ground, was something that looked like a human being. It's not exactly a doll, it looks just like a completely dried up mummy. No, it wasn't just mummy-like, it was an actual mummy. Why is something like this here? Because they killed it, or him. There was a mummy at the spot where the alien god had reacted. What's more, that mummy was wearing the same uniform as me.
遅くなってごめん。
偉人はもしかしてもう倒しちゃったとか
A little while later, Tomo and Sanina arrived at the scene as well. I hope you are not going to break down, Hime, because I'm going to take off my fucking headphones. So everyone's here now. But now that we are all together, what should we do next? Shut the fuck up.
ミイラ、
そんなの見ればわかるわよ。なんでミイラがこんなとこに。
どれくらい時間が経ってるのかな。
こらトモ、さらっと素手で触ろうとしないでよ。
あ、そうだった。指紋をつけないよう手袋しないと。
触る気満々。もうやだ。
What the fuck?
これくらいで泣くな。泣き虫は相変わらずだな。
泣いてないわよ。ちょっとびっくりしただけ。
Selena is trying to act tough by rubbing the corner of her eye, but in this case her reaction is probably the more normal one. However, Tomo walked over to the mummy with a blank expression and without hesitation began examining it. I never would have thought that Tomo, who used to be so timid, would turn out to be such a level-headed character.
このミイラ、うちの学校の制服を着てる。
I guess so. Thanks to that, at least I know he's a guy. To be honest, with just a mummy, you can't even tell if it's a man or a woman, let alone make out the face. I mean, you can, just lower her or his pants. But why a mummy? If he was devoured by a demon, you'd think only his clothes would be left behind and his body would be gone. By the way, this isn't just some unidentified corpse that was left here to dry out, is it?
それはないと思う。だって制服が綺麗すぎるもの。
Right, you're right. These clothes aren't really dirty at all. If this body had been left there for a long time and turned into a mummy, the clothes it's wearing would likely be somewhat soiled. But the clothes actually look like they've been worn all day. So that means...
この死体はごく短い間にミイラ化したということになる。
Of course, that would never happen under normal circumstances. But if it's a foreign god, maybe a feat like this is possible.
あ、これは。
Did you find anything? Tomo took something out of the pocket of Mii's uniform and silently held it out toward me. Is this my school ID? Great, this will prove who I am. But that... what? I took the notebook from Tomo, being careful not to leave any fingerprints, then opened it to check who it belonged to. If you don't wear gloves, no matter how careful you are, you will leave fingerprints, so I don't know what you are talking about. His name is Shogo Kinoshita. It says here he is in class 1C. The same class. Just what's with that class? At my school, the student handbook had a section at the end of each page where you could write your name, grade, and class. Looking at the profile, it seems that's the case. Didn't he have a backpack on him?
一年 C 組ってこないだタマちゃんが言ってたあれじゃないですか？
Huh? That thing? Oh, you mean that?
ちょっとあれじゃわかんないわよ。どういうこと？
Actually, I tell everyone about what I heard earlier from Yuji. A student from class 1C was found dead at home. That student had been absent from school for a long time, and rumor has it that he or she was being bullied in class. Probably he. In other words, this brings the total number of victims from class 1C to 2 this year.
なるほど。
This month.
調査の糸口は見えてきた感じね。
Yeah, it's hard to believe this is just a coincidence. Given this, it's possible that the first student to die, the one who had stopped attending school, was also attacked by a demon. Probably because the Ishin attacked the one being bullied, and that bullied kid always had like urge to kill everyone in class, just like a school shooting thing. And you know, Ishin somewhat developed. You know, I'm writing the VN before the VN reveals everything in this case. I guess I need to look into that properly.
これ以上の情報はここでは得られそうにないし、 そろそろ撤退しましょうか。
ちょっとこのミイラはどうすんのよ。
持って帰って調べたい。
いや絶対嫌。断固反対するわ。
Selena is screaming with tears in her eyes. Well, I totally get how she feels. But for reasons different from Selena's, I suppose I can't exactly take this mummy home with me. Dumping a body is definitely a bad idea. If we are not careful, the police might start looking at us, and that would be a real problem.
そっか。確かに。
死体はこの場に置いていこう。あとは警察に通報して任せればいい。
Yeah, you're right, Tomo, let's do that.
わかった。
They're also going to ask us things, like maybe we ganged up on him. But to be honest, I don't know what. Like the police wouldn't suggest us like doing anything to this body. At least not mummify it. Thank goodness I didn't have to carry this body. For now, I called the police from a pay phone to report the body using an anonymous number. After that, we went back to the abandoned factory to discuss what to do next. Apparently, the mummified corpse we saw earlier is a male student from Class 1C at Saitama Municipal Academy, the school we attend. And just the other day, a male student from Class 1C was found dead at his home. 2 students from the same class have died in such a short period of time. It's hard to believe this is a coincidence. What's more, considering that Mikone sensed the reaction from the student who died as a mummy, the student must surely have been a victim of a foreign god. So starting tomorrow, we will begin investigating whether there's any connection between the deaths of these 2 people.
また起きたか。
Okay,
まったくやってくれたな。
okay, I'm going to leave this here again. I don't know what time is it, to be honest, but you know, I kept on yapping, so probably it's very, very, very late, and I still have to go and grind for SS Karen for the daily in HBR, because I keep doing that behind the scenes. So thank you guys for watching Ember Quartz for 17. At this point I kind of start to lose, you know, count, and it looks like that even a route is like probably like its own episode, so that's why it's called another episode and not really Tomo route. But I'm really curious, and it's really cool that, you know, the story keeps moving forward while the route is happening at the same time. So it's a very interesting take on this. I never saw a visual novel doing this, and I don't think you guys did either. So without further ado, which is not right to say it when you end an episode, so thank you guys for watching, and I see you guys in part 18 and part 3 of the Tomo route. Ciao then.